You
done.
need me
So,
to,
sorry?
do you want me to raise it a little bit more, or is
No,
this
no. This is good. This is good. I'll start the recording. Yeah.
cool?
So, yeah. So I'm Ria Mehta. I'm the president of Empower Club. At Empower, our goal is to inspire and enable women in technology and various other fields. Our intention is to know stories of successful women in their fields and learn from their journeys, challenges they encountered, how they overcame those, and the lessons they have learned along the way. Today, we have the honor of welcoming Miss Surabhi Arora. She is a mother, IT professional, and also a volunteer firefighter. Her commitment and passion to give back to the society has set her apart as a leader and role model. With 3 years of experience in the firefighting, she represents remarkable bravery, strength, and unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety of our community. We are excited to know her journey, challenges, and aspirations as a woman in firefighting. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to the courageous Mrs. Surabhi Arora. Welcome, Surabhi Auntie. It is lovely to have you.
Thank you, Ria. It's lovely to have you here too, talking to you.
Yeah. So, without further ado, let's start with the questions. Firstly, what are some of your personal experiences or reasons that motivated you to be a firefighter?
That's a good question. uh, Self don't know what inspired me, but there was a time in my life when there were some things in my past, something happened, and my family passed away, and I had no way to figure out what I want to do, how I want to cope up with it, and I was going through my own struggle. A lot of people came my way. They wanted to help. They helped me in any possible way. There were many strangers who helped me back in India and here. I had a lot of support from family and friends, and even the society I lived in or the community. Um, there was no way of me giving them back, you know, or to pay them back with any kind of help. Or they were, people would come and go, but at the same time, there was a desire to give back, if not back to them, then at least to the society, or more what we call it as paid forward. So that was the desire, which was there once I started recovering. And also, I like to run, I like to hike, I like to work out. I just wanted to use these skills to give back. And in the whole 10 years, then finally one day I was just running outside of my community, and there was a volunteer needed in fire station. I just
Mhm.
walked in. I didn't know what they needed and what kind of skills were required, but I thought maybe that's one way I can help give back. And
Yeah.
stories.
I think that's really great, and I think that's really wonderful. So, like, given that, like, the people around you somewhat motivated you, kind of helped push you to become a firefighter, have you drawn professional inspiration from other women? Like, can you tell us about someone who has inspired you?
So I didn't know any woman who was a firefighter. Uh,
Hmm.
but I somehow, the way I was brought up, I was never brought up think, in a way thinking that I'm a woman or I'm a girl, so may not be able to do certain things. I never had that in my mind. But at my workplace, my not my manager, but our company's one of the director, he was talking about his volunteer journey, and he's a firefighter too. And long ago, almost eight years ago, he mentioned that he works as a volunteer firefighter, as also as IT professional, and that kind of stuck to my mind. When I saw the board out there, volunteers needed, I just walked in. Um, and when I went inside, I was talking to the chief, and that's when I asked him, "Is my gender an issue? Are there women firefighters? Is my height or age is a barrier?" And he said, "Nothing comes in between if I want to be." So, but yes, I have seen women in army and military and in any possible, like in aeronautics or scientists. So I never had that women cannot do anything. It's just that I wasn't sure if there are women firefighters. And once he said, yes, nothing can stop you, I just went ahead with it.
I think that's really cool. And I think in a way you're also becoming an inspiration for other women in a sense. So I think that's really nice. Um, let's go more into your workplace, right? So what is it that you wish you had known about women and work in your career, given that you did become a firefighter?
Um, I wish I had known what it entails, what kind of physical training is needed, what kind of mental strength you need, what kind of attitude you need. This was a completely new world for me. And I wish I had known that I needed more weightlifting, I needed more strength. However, it didn't stop me. We did get enough training time, and coincidentally COVID happened that time, so we got a little more time to train myself and to
Yeah.
understand how it works and what kind of commitment is needed with the family, with firefighting to stay as active firefighter and the
Oh.
training. It's very time consuming, so if I had known earlier, I may have hesitated a bit, but if I didn't know, some things when you don't know, you don't know. So in a way it worked out for me.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So going back to how you talked about how it was like really physically and mentally like demanding, the job firefighting as a whole requires like a lot of strength and agility. So you guys can carry the heavy suit equipment, climb ladders and work in the challenging environments, including extreme temperatures. So in this male-dominated profession, can you speak about any specific training challenges you have encountered as a woman?
Yes, there are a few, like we women don't train ourselves from the early life. We don't think bodybuilding is for us. We don't think physical strength is for us. We always women don't flex their muscles. It's always men who do.
Yeah.
But it helps here. That's one, that was one challenging job. And also my height, my own weight. You can only pick so much. You have your
Yeah.
own. It comes with your body type. As a woman, I'm just picking an example. I have had long hair, and then you have to wear helmet, and the hair starts, we start pulling. So most people, they shave their hair off. I wish I had known. But yes, as I cannot shave it, so I have to manage my hair around. And
Yeah.
also, we women wear jewelry. We have to take it off. We cannot wear jewelry during firefighting, which is okay. I'm not a very
Yeah.
specific person. Yes, strength building, weight training, building your stamina. I didn't know how much I needed, but since I was already into it a little bit, so I was able to pick it up. Even then, I had to train myself besides the fire training. I used to work out on my own. I used to run. I used to work out at the fire station with other firefighters before going for the class also. So I built my strength. If you want something, nothing can stop you.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think it's really great that, you took time out of like what was the normal training sessions to also train yourself. I think that is like a really important lesson for everyone else. Like, if you put in a little more effort, you can get there. Going back to the aspects of physical training, how do you approach it? Like besides just, going earlier, like spending more hours working for it to ensure that you're prepared for the demanding aspects of your job?
I had an advantage of having COVID. The COVID period started, so we all had more time in hand.
Yeah.
Uh, no social activities in the evening or even a weekend, so I had a little more time in my hand.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I started running more. That's one of my way to free my mind or get away from issues too. That helps me. So running more, working out more, having that attitude is more important. That yes, you can do. There were times when I thought that maybe this is not for me. And any challenging activity you pick, you always go through that ups and downs. So talk to people, read about it, read what you can do. What's the purpose? What's the goal? It's not just physical training. There are a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of physical trainers, but they don't become firefighters. Uh, you do have to go through that cycle of, reading, motivating yourself, what you can do. You go for, be at the station, be with those kind of people more, so you get, inspiration from them. Listen to their stories. That helps. So you have Google, internet, everything at your disposal.
Okay.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
I think that's really great. Like, using information from like any other resources is also really interesting. So going back to the pandemic and the idea that you had a lot more time during COVID to, branch out in terms of your athleticism, the pandemic affected fire departments in many ways, including increased call volumes, the need for new safety protocols, and the risk of firefighters themselves becoming infected and unable to work. So, how did you manage your work-life balance while addressing increased demands related to jobs, such as isolating families due to increased exposures of potentially affected individuals or due to working longer shifts?
So I had joined just before pandemic started, and I was to go for the fire training and fire academy beginning of 2020, but it got postponed or cancelled due to pandemic. So we were put on hold, especially the newcomers or probationary. They're called probationary. So I was asked not to come to station. I was able to still help. We started stitching masks, and there were a lot of other volunteer activities I did, and I still stayed in touch with the station. And when they see that you're still dedicated, you're committed, then they proposed fire training for me. But uh, those were the tough days. Fire training, sitting in the classes and your drills with the mask on. There were a lot of safety measures which were taken at the academy also. Then we also had to make up for the calls, and we were made sure we are wearing masks, and we had this hand sanitizer. If anyone would catch the COVID, we were informing, and you know at least we were not allowed in the fire station for at least 5 to 10 days, or we completely recovered. That did impact a lot of frontline workers. Also, when I used to come back home, washing hands and taking our clothes and changing immediately, taking shower, everything was applied. And at the same time, there was less and less time I was seeing my family too, but they supported me. They were there anytime I needed. The food would be ready, the kids would be okay. So everyone was home, they were all safe. I had to take extra measures to keep them also safe.
Yeah.
And friends also, not just family, friends also. So it was my job, my responsibility to wear a mask around people. So we were all going through ups and downs. It was new for everyone. It did
Yeah.
impact. Um, there were a lot more people on call from neighboring departments also if people were falling sick.
Yeah, I think that's really good because I feel like COVID affected people in like so many negative ways. So in a way, at least like this one good thing came out of it. It's also really nice to know that your family and friends supported you. I feel like that's like a good like lesson and inspiration for all of us as well. So let's shift gears a little bit. There have been an increasing frequency and severity of wildfires and or flooding, which have created enormous challenges for fire departments around the nation. Does that concern you?
It does, and it does a lot because I'm a volunteer. And when I joined 3 years ago, we had a lot more volunteers and less career firefighters. Um, Volunteership is a dying breed. And I'm seeing less and less volunteers coming forward. So what's happening in that case is the township is starting hiring career firefighters. In that case, what happens is the tax increases, and also the volunteers are less and less, and we're not able to get even one truck out or two trucks out because we work 9 to 5, our own job also. So it has impacted. We need more firefighters, volunteers to come forward. Um, it's a uh, tough job, but it's a big commitment too, and I understand. But at the same time, we as community or a town should come, forward to pay back. Um, it's an essential job. It's People are needed. Do come out to help if possible. Give your time. It gives a sense of gratitude to everyone. It's not just you know
Yeah.
as career firefighter, they are being paid, but at the same time, even they feel that gratitude that they're able to help out when needed.
That's really nice. That's really interesting. Last but not least, according to the National Fire Protection Association, despite the push for more diversity in hiring, less than 5% of career firefighters across the country are women. So, what would you tell young women who are just starting to work or considering a career in firefighting? What would you like them to know?
I'm seeing volunteer firefighters, women firefighters, turning into career firefighters. Yes, there is a lot more training required. They have to go through EMT class. EMT training. They have to go through. There should be at least 3 to 4 years of volunteer work. There has to be fire two. There's level one, level two training. So it's a lot more training, very physically and mentally demanding job, but I'm seeing that switch happening. They're turning from volunteer to they're shifting to career. For women, the body goes through a lot of changes. I know, if you have plan to have a child, or you have to keep up with your physical strength, and age and gender does play a role too a little bit. But at the same time, if someone wants to, especially girls, they can always start working out, even if you don't want to be a firefighter. Even then, work out. It's never too late, and it's good to have your own body strength instead of depending on a guy to fix your furniture, or fix the bulb, or move the stuff around the house. There's no harm in being independent. Don't need to depend. You can fix a car. A girl can fix a car or a tire, or anything around the house, any appliance. As
Yeah.
women, we need more strength. We have babies, and we need to build our core strength. We carry the child, in our arms for 3 years, 4 years after the baby is born. So we need more strength, not men. um,
Yeah.
you know, don't be a fighter. You don't have to fight any kind of fights. At the same time, be independent. It's for you, not for anyone else. You
Yeah.
will feel good mentally and physically.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's really good advice because I feel like it applies to everyone, like regardless of what career or profession you decide to go into. Yeah, so that concludes our interview. It was a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much for your time. If you have any further questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah.